Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
Jake about to live, man. Jake about to truly live forever. And how we gonna tap in? Through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is gonna lead us into eternal life. This wisdom is gonna bring us into the kingdom of heaven, which starts with the elect. And Lord's will, we are those men. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 17. And it reads, "For the very true beginning of her," and her represents wisdom, "for the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom." So this wisdom is going to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, because it starts with the Lord's men. "If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore." You see?
To the glory of our golden age, may it shine forever.
So we're going to reign forever. Lord's willing, we are part of the elect.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And to her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he saith unto me, Write, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of God.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem, Makakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS, rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shah Bahashem. Dash pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful leg, the believers, the listeners, whom I came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashem Shai. All right, and what I want to get into this morning, all right, this morning news and prophecy, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Shai, the water, to our power, for giving us another day. As the scriptures say, I was glad when they said, let us go into the house of the Lord. I believe it's Psalms. I think it's like 124, but it's another day, all right, that we're able, to come into, all right, the presence of Yahweh Bashim Shai in the spirit, and offer up, all right, these spiritual sacrifices, acceptable by, all right, Yahweh Shai, you know, they're accepted by the Father through Yahweh Shai, you see? And what we're seeing happening, the Lord began to move, okay? The Lord is beginning to make his move against Esau, okay? And that plays into the part of the devil knowing he have but a short time because prophecy is beginning to work against this nigga, man, okay? So now we're seeing the devil, he's getting in the spirit of having to go all out, okay? He can't, he can't play the patient game anymore. Okay, there was a time when he was able to set things in motion, right, and let things play out. He had time. There was a time when time was a luxury for this nigga, but now time is an enemy to this devil, man. Okay, so he's gonna have to really come with everything, all right, that he got to try to pull this off, man, and it's gonna work against him, man. Okay, it's gonna spiral out of control, and it's gonna lead to his kingdom being destroyed, okay, and him going into captivity, man. The nation of Edom, along with all these other heathens, going into captivity, man. This is how this thing plays out. Okay, so let's go here. Let's get this in Ezekiel. We always go into it, but let's read on down. We usually stop at verse 23, but we're gonna read on down, to the end of the chapter Habaratazah, and we're reading it was AMP. All right, so this is Ezekiel 12 and 21. It says, "Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying, all right, son of man, what is that proverb that you have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are long and every vision fails?" Okay, because our people, and this is why, you look at the reaction, of our people to the prophets is to what? To ignore, okay, or to make mockery, as if, what the prophets are saying, all right, is irrelevant, and people in their mind, because they hear about, us speak about the times to come, and just because, people are not in it, they're thinking what we're saying is irrelevant. They don't understand the authority, okay, behind, all right, the message of the prophets, man. So we're just messengers, man. Okay, and the Lord finna show himself, all right, to be powerful in the earth, man. You see, because this is a world that thinks that the Heavenly Father lacks in power. This feeble, Jesus Christ character that was pushed through Christianity. No one fears Jesus Christ. No one's worried about, the terror that's coming, okay, behind no Jesus Christ, man. Okay, so this devil, has really made, all right, the God of the Bible, okay, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and his son Esau has made them out as if they're something to play with, as if they irrelevant, okay, and that's why the Lord, all right, is going to make statements with judgment, man. Okay, what's that in Psalms? All right, 9 and 16. If a brother want to post that, Psalms 9 and 16. Okay. You see, the Lord's going to make statement with the judgment that he's going to bring to the earth. Okay. Because through Esau, the wicked ruler, all right, people have been conditioned to play and with the Most High and not take it serious, man. People, we live in a society where people don't take anything serious, man. Okay. So the Lord, is finna get ready to really show that he's finna really put people within these prophecies. See, there's a time when prophecy isn't prophecy anymore, it's a reality, because people are going to be living in it. That's why when you go to verse 23, therefore tell them, thus said the Lord, I will put an end to this proverb. And how is he going to put an end to the proverb? By making it not be a prophecy anymore, which is to speak before, all right, to speak about the future event, but no, cause their prophecy to be a reality. Okay, that's how he's going to put an end to these sayings or this mindset amongst our people, as if the prophets ain't talking about nothing, man. Like I say, it's not our message. We're just conveying the message of the Lord's will to come in the earth, man. Because prophecy is just the Lord's future will. Okay, what he's going to do in the future, it's a guarantee. When you go into prophecy, it's a guarantee of what the Lord is going to do, future tense. Okay, and we can't put a date on it, but we can just go into the circumstances building up to that certain prophecies, what being fulfilled. We know we all right in the build up to this third world's war. We know we in the build up to civil unrest. We know we in the build up to famine, pestilence. Okay, you see the MOTB, all right, being mandated. We know we in the build up to it because we see it developing, man. Okay, and it's gonna come a time where it's not just gonna be developing, it's gonna be here. It's gonna be the new reality, man. Okay, he said, therefore tell them, they'll say the Lord power, I will put an end to this proverb, and they will no longer use it as a proverb in Israel, but say to them, the days draw near as well as the fulfillment of every vision. Okay, the fulfillment of every vision, man. You see, the most high, and what people from to realize, the Bible ain't just a book of words, man. The Bible is a book of power. The Bible is a book of guarantees. Okay, none of these shall fail, as the scriptures say. Okay, the Bible is a book of guarantees, man. You know, and then it's gonna magnify, our power in the earth. Okay, the fact that he spoke these things and it happened. Not only it happened, but it happened exactly how he said it would happen, man. All right, verse 24, for there will no longer be any false and empty vision, okay, or flattering divination within the house of Israel. And you look at it today, what's people mind on, right? It's Mother's Day, okay? And that's the mindset of our people is to go worship, all right, their mother, which there's there's a difference between reverencing your mother and worshiping your mother, okay? And this, Esau has done nothing but infused, all right, pagan, okay, rituals within what you call Christianity, man. So this is nothing but another Queen of Heaven Day, okay? So here it is. Most of our people, their minds is geared towards, today, for example, the worship of a woman, okay? So their mind is not even on the prophecies that's developing, you know? You see, they're into vanity. You see, they went and got this flattering service, from church. Okay. Now they're going to eat abomination. You see, and that's what they're used to, man. This flattery, man. You see, that's why people used to just constant flattery, man. It's always some type of event, always some type of holiday, always some type of, this and that. Okay. But these things are vain because there's going to be a time where they're not going to be able to do these things. See, it's not until people can't do these things anymore. They don't have access to convenience. They don't have access to essentials. Okay, famine is going to be people not having access to essential things that they feel so entitled to, man. Okay, so the Lord is going to put a complete stop to the day-to-day operations of this society. That's one thing that prophecy is going to do. It's going to put a complete stop to the day-to-day operation in society, man. People just going to have to deal with the wrath of the Lord, man. People finna have to really deal with judgment, man. Okay, brother, want to put that was Second Ezra 8:50. Bible Kashah says, "For I, the Lord, will speak, and whatever word I speak will be accomplished." So it's going to come a time to everything that the prophets have been saying, okay, is going to become reality, man. And there's things, all right, that the brothers have been saying, starting with the apostles and the elders, man, which they've been saying for decades, that are now realities now, man. Okay, the reality of this global reset, this double crash in the economy to bring about a new system. Well, that reality is here now. We're in the midst of a global reset. Okay, this man is getting ready to do a transition. That's why he needs these crises to justify the moves he's going to make. Okay, he's setting himself up to make a transition, man. So these things are in the making now. No more just speaking about it and not seeing anything develop according to, see, now everything is in motion, what the prophet's been saying. So now it's just about these things hitting the actual reset itself. Okay, the actual war going nuclear. You see the MOTB being mandated, before this war goes nuclear, man. See, now it's just the actual fulfillment of these things, but everything is in progress. Okay, that's all we've been hearing: food shortages, famine. That's all it's been. That's the energy that's in the earth. Is the prophecies being fulfilled? So he has his men speaking these things. The Lord has his men on their watch speaking these things, and these things are happening. Okay, they're developing as we speaking these things, man. Okay, it says, "For I, the Lord, will speak, and whatever word I speak will be accomplished. It will no longer be delayed. For in your days, in this lifetime, in your days, O rebellious house, I will speak the word and I will fulfill it, says the Lord." All right, Yahweh Bashem Shai, man. Okay, so we're into the time to where everything that the Lord has had the prophets, to speak, to expound on, and we'll expound on according to his word. That's why we have to go into the precepts. We're expounding on his word, his will. You see, we're not just out there ranting for hours. Okay, no, that's why the precepts, because that's where the authority is, that's where the power is. When we go into the precepts, this is what's setting the stage, is the precepts, man. This is what's painting the picture of everything we see happening, man, is these precepts, man. This is what's bringing understanding to what we're seeing in the world. The precepts is making understanding. All right, it's bringing understanding to the table through the Holy Spirit, which is upon, all right, his true men, all right, his watchmen, his prophets, man. And it said, verse 27, verse 26, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, the house of Israel is saying, the vision that Ezekiel sees is for is for many years from now, and he prophesies of the times that are far off. Yeah, because our people have so much hope in this world. They're hoping that what we're saying, all right, first is untrue, and if it is, they're hoping that it's a far off. Because most of our people, they still want to live out their lives in America, man. They're okay with this system. They don't care about how wicked Esau is. They don't care about this man destroying the earth. They don't care about a technocracy is being built around them. It's a digital prison being built around them, man. Okay? They just want to go enjoy their day to day in America, man. Whatever little piece of convenience they got left, they want to just enjoy that and be oblivious, okay, to reality, man. But the Lord gonna make it to where you can't ignore what He doing, because it's gonna have a heavy impact, okay, a heavy impact, okay, on your day to day, man. Okay, and a lot of days finna be ended. You see, there's a lot of people that's getting ready to expire. Okay, when the Lord opens up in judgment, man, hey, he pulling a lot of tickets, man. Hey, this go round, okay, the Lord pulling a lot of tickets, man, and people finna expire around this bitch, man. Okay, verse 28. Therefore, say to them, thus said the Lord power, none of my words will be delayed any longer. Whatever word I speak will be fulfilled completely, says the Lord power, man. So these things are going to be fulfilled, you know. And they're being fulfilled, man. They're happening, man. Everything is trending towards prophecy being fulfilled, man. Okay, there's nothing. There's nothing written that hasn't happened. That's not in progress to happen. These last prophecies that we're waiting on, right? The civil unrest, the persecution of the church. Okay, would you have the World War III? Okay, MOTB, the economic collapse, all these things, okay, are in, okay, progress, man. So let's go here real quick. We'll get some of these off the comment board as well. All right. So we know the main thing has been this Hunter virus, man. Okay. And which, let me look, I gotta look that up again. Let's get a couple of these precepts. We're gonna play this. All right. This the brother you call. All right. Yep. It said you call hope for 144, Psalm 9 and 16. It said the Lord is known by the judgment which he executed. You see, the Lord's going to make a name or reputation for himself in the earth through judgment. This is what we're getting ready to see, man. Okay. It says the wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. And that's exactly what's happening. Esau is snared in his own wickedness, man. All this treachery he got going on, double crossing one another, all the wickedness he's done in the earth, and he done double cross these people, triple cross this people. He done promised these people this. He got this going on. He got this gimmick going on. He trying to be God with technology, so he needs to set up his infrastructure. He needs a data center, but then the data center need the oil and gas, and it's like, so he's snared in his own hands. You see, the Most High has allowed Esau to just, have at it and prosper in wickedness. Okay, but it's turning from his wickedness prospering to him. It's going from the Lord has caused Esau to begin to work against himself. It was a time when his wickedness, okay, he prospered in his wickedness, but now, okay, his wickedness is beginning to work against him. Okay, and this is what we're seeing, and this is why we see this nigga he's tackier than he ever been. Okay, this nigga is tacky as he's ever been. Okay, you look at his highlight tape, man. This is the most tacky that this guy has been, man. Okay, let's go here. And brother got another one. This is 2nd Esdras 15 and 49. The brother you call hopeful 144. It says, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, and pestilence to waste thy house with destruction and death. Okay, to waste, all right, thy house with destruction and death, man. You see, so the Lord is getting ready to lay waste to this kingdom, man. And all these things, what they call polycrisis. And you go through the scriptures are all about polycrisis, man. Widowhood, a lot of men finna die in this war. A lot of men finna die trying to make plays for their house. And a lot of men finna die. Okay. A lot of women, but it's gonna be widowhood is gonna go through the roof. Okay, poverty is going to be on another level. Extreme poverty, man. Okay, famine, sword, pestilence. All this is polycrisis, man. Okay, all these different things happening at once, man. And the Lord is setting the stage. Why? Because he wants to bring misery to this current age, man. Okay, and he's going to use Esau, all right, to do it. Okay, he's going to give one more use out this nigga Esau, all right, before he's judged, man. Okay, this 2nd Esdras 8 and 50. This is brother called Hope 144 saying, for many great miseries shall be done to them, all right, that in the latter time shall dwell in the world, because they have walked, okay, in great pride. All right, the brother God as well. You see, the brother servants of Yahushua 144. Okay, so we're in a time of great miseries, man. You see, the Lord has allowed, Americans, to just kick it, to chill, have this convenience, okay, this party, this festive spirit. So the Lord has allowed this for a time, for a season. Okay, and now we're going into another season. We're going to a season of misery now. Okay, people are going to be miserable, man. Famine, that's going to be miserable, man. The anxiety of being in constant fear of your life because of how violent it's going to be. Okay, trying to survive moment for moment, man. That's going to be miserable, man. Okay, watching your children starve. You see, your husband leave, don't come back. Okay, mercenaries, militias. Okay, just running rampant, man. Hey, people being primitive. Man, that's going to be a time of misery, man. Okay, and this is what we're seeing playing out. Okay, is the Lord's going to bring a misery to the earth. All right, they can't be fathomed, man. You see, so let's play this, because you have this with the Hunter virus. I'm gonna get that word too, But let's play this, man. Because as we follow, this narrative, it seems like he's finna run with it. Okay, it seemed like he's finna run with it in the way that they, set this thing up. Okay, is for them to be able to say, all right, that look, they lost containment, and it's like they're, telegraphing another lockdown, which, hey, that's even the announcement of certain lockdowns, man. That's when we really going to see people, lose it, and he wants people to lose it, which justifies him coming down with more force. Okay, so let's play this.
Health Department says. Now, in addition to that, we have some more information regarding the potential cities that this might be located in. Take a look with me. As you can see coming out today, Houston, Texas. 2 residents in Houston are among those exposed during the Atlantic cruise ship hantavirus incident. Both Texas residents returned to the United States before the outbreak was identified, are currently being monitored without symptoms. So here in my neck of the woods, Houston, Texas, we are.
And there's a spirit. I don't know if you can see it. All right, but when you look on the, because you got the live chat on the side, and it said "Do not comply." You had someone put on the chat on this video, "Do not comply." Because most people know what this is, man. All right, you still gonna have those simple. You have simple people now already starting to put masks on, man. Okay, so this man, you want to have the simple. The scripture say, "The simple believe every word." Okay, so you got simple people that's gonna quarantine themselves, that's gonna shelter in place. Okay, they're gonna not want you near them. You see, but there's people that's still traumatized from 2020. Okay, and now you have a group of people that's saying do not comply. Okay, so that's gonna be interesting, man. That's gonna be interesting to see when they make these certain announcements, man, how these people are gonna react, man. Okay, because they got this thing of don't comply. Okay, but the devil, the Lord's going to allow the devil to apply maximum pressure to you American citizens, man. It's going to be rough everywhere in the world, but here in America, the Lord going to have an extra spirit on these devils to apply maximum pressure. That's why the scriptures say He put a cruel Lord over Egypt, man. So it's an emphasis on America, man. Okay, because the elites like, look, we got to get these Americans caught up, man. Okay, and then remember, this is a depopulation agenda as well. Okay, beyond the lockdown, this is a depopulation. So Esau is setting the stage of the catch bodies, man. Okay, to get a lot of people out of here, man, because he needs to trim the roster. Okay, for his new world order, man. Okay, so let's play this.
You're hearing that is where those individuals were from that were on that boat. Now, in addition to that, there are still 10 remaining Americans on that boat. We're hearing they're going to be coming back to the United States, to Nebraska. Take a look coming out today. American passengers aboard the hantavirus hit cruise ship. They will be quarantining in Nebraska, the CDC says. So they will bring them back, and that is where they will be located out at when they return, as they're saying they can't stay on the boat, and there are issues with them bringing them on shore off of the coast of Spain, or I forget where they're at, but they're saying that they don't want them on. They're concerned. A lot of people are saying don't let them off the boat. But then we received word that a week before that, already many of them already had gotten off. They've flown all around the world. They are back in Taiwan, in Europe, Australia, the United States. We are seeing them all over in Canada. They've already made their way, and now there are concerns about those that have been around them being exposed as well. And we have
and he just done drop these niggas off everywhere. So called, man. Supposedly, you know what I'm saying? Niggas just drop niggas off everywhere. Okay? Just these bio weapons. Okay? Niggas just, and this the narrative, man. All right, and that's the main thing I wanted from this one, because just to show you that he just gonna drop these niggas off everywhere, so called, which can create the story. Oh, this is global now. He drop he drop a group of niggas in each corner of the earth, man. So nigga, it's global now. Okay, set the stage for it to say, okay, it's global. All right, now let's go. The head shields at the gym. You know, people. People simple, man. Okay, yeah, man. You got people that's ready to comply. At the first CNN report, man, people ready to comply, man. Okay, so let's go here because now they're saying it's another virus. Now you got the norovirus. Okay, so now it's something else, and it's supposed to be less deadly but more contagious. Okay, now you got something new on the scene. What DJ Khaled say? Another one. Okay, my boy got another one. So let's play this. The update with the new Pestilence, man, on another ship. Another cruise ship. You see, it just conveniently on the cruise ship, they're just going everywhere, and these cruise ships are just going everywhere. Dropping people off, picking niggas up. Okay, so let's play this one.
Breaking news coming out in the past couple of hours of yet another cruise ship where there has been an outbreak, and we're hearing over 100 passengers have fallen sick. This coming out in the past couple of hours. Let's go ahead and take a look at the latest so that way you can see it for yourself. Norovirus outbreak sickens nearly 120 passengers and crew aboard the Princess cruise ship. You can see this coming out today, May 8th, 2026, just a couple of hours ago. Here is another report coming out on this. 115 people sickened in the norovirus outbreak on the cruise ship. The CDC has reported, according to the CDC, 102 passengers and 13 crew were reported sick. Now, this number is continuing to rise. As you saw, the previous one, which was earlier, is now at 120. Now, this comes this is on a lot of people's minds right now because of what we currently have going on with the hantavirus. As now we're hearing the United States has prepared in 7 states to receive Americans possibly exposed to the hantavirus. State and local health officials are monitoring passengers who have returned home as federal authorities prepare to evacuate the rest to Nebraska. Now, this comes as I also let you know that amongst those, 2 of them that are returning to Texas, that returned from Texas, that were aboard that ship, are from Houston. We've identified the city of which they were from. They're here in the city of Houston. And also, the new state that was added was New Jersey today. CDC issues a hantavirus New Jersey alert after 2 New Jersey residents potentially exposed to the rare virus. So I'm going to get you caught up on the latest. Now, they're saying that this outbreak that's taking place upon the Princess cruise ship is over 100 people. It is the norovirus. Now, they're saying this is something that is not extremely rare, that these outbreaks can happen on the cruise ship with something like the norovirus. This is something where there's that stomach issue. You can have very violent vomiting, diarrhea. It can be very, very unpleasant. It's a stomach bug that is passed around, very contagious, that's aboard the cruise ship. Now, this happens very frequently. Now, this is just very alarming at this time because of the fact that we currently have this very rare disease that is currently taking place with the hantavirus Andes variant. And there's been updates that have been coming out on that. It just seems like every hour we're getting new information. There's concerns. We're hearing that there are also requests happening in other countries for self-quarantine. And we're also hearing that right now they are monitoring those here in the United States. But we're hearing that this cruise ship is still out to sea. It's going to be coming in May 11th, 2026, for this cruise ship that has a massive outbreak of the norovirus. So I'm going to dive into the articles, get you caught up on the latest. We're going to be taking a look at some video footage, getting you updated as to what is going on with the hantavirus as well. And just let me know your thoughts. I saw this headline and just thought, what in the world is going on? Just seems like there is a lot of sickness going on right now. Let me know your thoughts if you agree in the comments. But hit the like button for me if you appreciate the live updates, keeping you up to speed on everything. We are currently live. It's 9:46 p.m. Central Standard Time here in Houston, Texas. And also subscribe if this is your first time here. And as you guys know, I cite all the sources, put it on the screen, read right from it, so that way you can know and rest assured this is the latest. And yes, the norovirus is more common to happen than the hantavirus, which is a very alarming, concerning, deadly disease, because that one is a 40% mortality rate. Now, let's go ahead and take a look here at this. I'm going to get you caught up on the latest norovirus outbreak. Sickens nearly 120 passengers and crew aboard the Princess cruise ship. It says a norovirus outbreak aboard the Princess cruise ship this week has sickened over 100 passengers and more than a dozen crew members with grueling symptoms like vomiting and diarrhea, health officials have said. Now, of the 3,116 passengers aboard the Caribbean Princess, 102 reported falling ill with highly contagious stomach viruses during the 14-day voyage through the Eastern Caribbean, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. In addition, 13 of the 1,131 personnel on board also reported getting sick. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Is this
So yeah, you have now 120 on another cruise ship, the Caribbean Princess. Okay, that have another disease, the neurovirus, man. Okay, so this devil, he's been forced, to pull out all stops. If a brother can get that, Revelation 12 and 12. Okay, he's been forced to pull out all stops because time ain't with this devil, man. Okay, and that's the spirit. We paused the video on 441. Authors are, 44. Because this all leads to a new government, a righteous government that's getting ready to be established in the earth by Yahweh. Okay, this is what everything is leading to, a righteous government being established in the earth by Yahweh, man. Okay, so this man he's running to his end. Matter of fact, the brother got their precept. We'll play a little bit more of this. Okay, it says Ezekiel 7:5. This is brother GMS, but I always hope for elect, but on the walk. Ezekiel 7:5, it said, "Thus said the Lord power, and evil, and only evil, behold, is come." Only thing left for this world is judgment, man. It's only gonna get worse. It only gets worse, man. Okay. And with this nigga, he ain't no telling how many pestilence he throw out there, how many narratives he throw out there, because he needs something to stick. Okay. He needs something to stick, man. So this devil is setting the stage, okay, for civil unrest, for lockdowns and depopulation, okay. And then what he's saying, the hantavirus, that's a 40% mortality rate. So that's almost a coin toss. You get that, okay? You don't need to go to the doctor. Flip a coin, all right? That's your chances. You see. So yeah, man, and if there's something with supposedly a 50% mortality rate, that's going to justify him and unaliving a lot of people, man. And he has a scapegoat to blame it on. Okay, now is he really going to release something? We don't know. The Lord can help this nigga out. The Lord can drop something in the game. Okay, Mosai can really come with something. All right, and start getting people out of here, man. Okay, so it could go a lot of different ways, but we know, all right, it's going to lead to depopulation, okay, shutdowns, okay, and the new system. You see, in an attempt to roll out a new system, we know that's the play. Okay, so we just follow these things as they happen. All right, and going back to let me see, going back here. Okay, Mr. Brother. Yeah, this is Brother Yashima, tribe of Judah. It said, "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath," man. So the Lord is getting ready to come down. All right, He's going to get ready to use Esau to come down with great wrath, because the Lord wants to judge. The Lord wants to depopulate. Okay. So while he has Esau in power and this weaponry and this technology, all right, this the perfect nigga to do a mass judgment in the earth, man. He's the perfect tool. Okay. Esau is a goddamn death angel, man. He's a heartless nigga, man. So he's the perfect, all right, tool for the Lord to use, all right, to come down with wrath, and then he got the scenario set up where Esau is frustrated. Like I say, certain things are backfiring. There's a discrepancy between these elites. You can tell that there are certain uh, factions, okay, fighting against each other. They'll divide. Satan divided. Okay, so he's frustrated. Time ain't on his side, so he's gonna be like a madman, sparing none. Okay, but see, we're in the time of rejoicing, man, because hey, our faith is in the heavens, man. Not what See, we don't have any hope or expectation of this world of things getting better. See, if you have an expectation of things getting better, you're gonna be disappointed more and more. By the weeks, the days, the hours, you're gonna be constantly disappointed. Okay. And then the Lord said he's gonna put a spirit on this nigga to be a madman, sparing none. He's gonna lose it, man. Esau finna click out, man. Nigga frustrated, weary. Okay. And then the prophet steady, blowing the trumpet, steady shaking the hand at this nigga, man. This nigga losing, then the prophet shaking the hand of this nigga, man, because the Lord is agitating this nigga, man, so he can wild out. You know? You see, Esau getting ready to go out like Scarface, man, like the end of Scarface, man. Okay. He's taking a lot of people with him. Okay, and that's what the Lord wants. So let's let's play a little bit more of this, man.
Making you think twice about going on a cruise with all the sickness that is currently being reported. Princess Cruises can confirm that a limited number of individuals reported mild gastrointestinal illness during the April 28th Caribbean Princess voyage from the Port Everglades. A rep for the ocean liner told the Post in a statement, "We quickly disinfected every area of the ship and added extra sanitizing throughout the voyage. Upon arrival to Port Canaveral on May 11th, Caribbean Princess will undergo comprehensive cleaning and disinfection before departing for her next voyage." Now, known as the vomiting virus, the infected group experienced diarrhea and vomiting on the 948-foot long.
So yeah, niggas say pretty much you're gonna wipe it down with Lysol, and put the ship back out the next voyage. It's not gonna shut the ship down, detain the ship. Okay? No, it's just gonna, tomorrow, nigga, wipe it down some Lysol, some Comet, put it back out there. You see the narrative, so he's it's just so tacky, man. But he got to do it. Okay, it ain't even about the quality anymore, man. It's about just putting a narrative out there, man. Okay, play a little more, then we'll switch over.
Vessel that set sail for Fort Lauderdale, Florida, the CDC reported. The cruise liner isolated ailing passengers and workers, increased cleaning and disinfection measures to contain the outbreak, and collected stool samples from those impacted for further testing. Now, the 22-year-old ship is set to return to Florida on Monday following planned stops in the Dominican Republic and the Bahamas, according to Cruise Mapper. The highly contagious illness, which is often associated with cruise ships, was first reported to the CDC's Vessel Sanitation Program on Thursday, the agency said. Now, this is the second norovirus outbreak to strike the Princess cruise ship this year. The misery-inducing illness rocked the cruise line Star Princess in March, sickening 141 passengers, 52 crew members during a week-long voyage in the Western Caribbean, according to the CDC. So there you have it, you guys. Man, let me know your thoughts in the comments.
So let's go from there, man. So now, okay, you have the norovirus. All right, this is the second time this happened this year, but the war was so hot in March. No one, these things wasn't being reported. Okay, showing you that these devils, they choose what narratives to push, for their agenda. Okay, now let's go here. Let's segue here. I got another video to tap into. So let's segue here. All right. and they want people to rebel against these lockdowns. They want civil unrest. Okay, they want people to not comply. Either way it works for them. Whether people comply, we just let them continue to go farther, all right, into their agenda. And if people don't comply, they're justified to use more force. All right, they can designate you as you're a threat of national security. You see, you could be looked at as a threat to national security. Okay, because this is a health situation. See, health. Okay, that's why they can do a lot of censorship. Don't be surprised they come back with a lot of censorship because it's been lax lately. The censorship. So don't be surprised if they bring heavy censorship back. To the reporting. Okay, of these things as they unfold. Okay, so heavy censorship can come back because eventually it's going to have to be a famine of the word, man. And we know when it comes to the medical situation, they can use misinformation as if your information is costing people lives. You're against the juice where you're costing people lives. It's medical, misinformation. C19 brothers had to go to other platforms. Brothers all on BitChute. Rumble. Okay, brothers all on these, these little third tier, platform. And then BitChute. I ain't been on BitChute in so long. Well, brothers doing videos on BitChute, man, because of how bad it got with the censorship on YouTube, man. Brother had to leave a link. Them days, man. You see, and brother Zaria, I know brother Zaria, GMS Truth in Orlando. That brother remember, So we can see that come back, man. The heavy censorship, man. Okay, but eventually we know there has to be a famine of the word. That's a prophecy that has to be fulfilled too. You know, so everything in the making, man. Everything in motion, man. So let's play this, all right? Because with this go around, like I say, plan to see more kickback, more of a pushback, man. Okay, which is going to justify, all right, this man coming down with more force. Okay.
Test, and it may just be a memory test. Do you remember monkeypox? Do you remember bird flu? Do you remember every time they've tried to bring back the COVID lockdowns? We don't need to go back to that. That was a complete failure, the whole response to COVID, and don't let them bring it back. This is an IQ test.
The hantavirus is a big deal right now. And so now here's Dr. Robert Malone, who was, no matter what the Atlantic magazine says, he was the inventor of the mRNA platform. He was the first one to do that, and that it was built on. And he's got patents on many vaccines, and he's one of the leading people in that field. And so here's what he tweeted out yesterday. He said, your odds of being struck by lightning are more than 7 times greater than getting hantavirus in the USA. About 250 people get struck by 5 cases per year of hantavirus he meant to say USA. In the USA, 35 cases a year in the USA with about 12 deaths per year on average. Obviously, hantavirus shouldn't be a big concern for the vast majority of Americans, but I turned on CNN, and here's what CNN is saying.
And what a quarantine might really mean in context of the long incubation period. And we have a question from one of our viewers. They ask, it's said that it can take, what do you, is that a fair way to look at this? I mean, how long do you think people should be quarantined who are either on that ship or in contact with someone who is there?
Yeah, I mean, this is the big challenge with this virus, the long incubation period. And now we have people scattered really around the globe that are being properly tracked, isolated, quarantined, and get it under control. But what they did was they quarantined and isolated people for 40 days because of the long incubation period. So unfortunately, this is a key factor in us trying to figure out, how do we keep people safe? How do we prevent further spread? I mean, what we're all tracking right now is that potential secondary spread. And then how do we minimize those who are infected from infecting others?
So there is, again, CNN being completely alarmist about another pandemic and wanting people to be quarantined and trying to scare the hell out of everybody at the behest of certainly Big Pharma, which pays 70% of their bills. What's your reaction to this hantavirus pandemonium?
Look, this is an IQ test, and it may just be a memory test. Do you remember monkeypox? Do you remember bird flu? Do you remember every time they've tried to bring back the COVID lockdowns? The laptop class longs for the days when they could just sit at home and order their crap on Amazon and get their groceries delivered, never go out and see anybody and collect a paycheck, and have it their way. And look, we don't need to go back to that. That was a complete failure, the whole response to COVID, and don't let them bring it back. This is an IQ test at this point.
Even the WHO is in on it too. So one of the good things they did was they pulled this Trump administration. They pulled us out of the WHO. I mean, in my estimation, that was a good thing. And here is the World Health Organization is now openly saying that the hantavirus outbreak proves why the world needs centralized global health control. Let's listen to just a few seconds of this.
But how does that translate in a global solidarity? I will let time to tell, but we really need this incident. This outbreak has seen why the world needs a global entity that coordinates this. The Argentina support how they come forward.
So what he said was this outbreak of hantavirus, which again, as Dr. Robert Malone says, you have a greater chance of being hit by lightning. Proof that we need a central health organization for the world like the WHO. Do you have a response to that?
Yeah, the WHO is the first cousin of the WEF, the World Economic Forum. And those are the Epstein class. Look, there are a class of billionaires who want, Bill Gates included. By the way, the CEO of the World Economic Forum had to resign over the Epstein files recently. But they're all first cousins. They all want more control. They will not let any crisis go to waste, and they'll manufacture a crisis if they don't have one already, because fear is the biggest motivator of people, and they know it. And so that's all this is. It's a power grab based on fear, people's fear of their own, their health and well-being. And the reality is, it'd be a whole.
Yeah, you see. So he's coming all the way out with it, which these people like Thomas Massey, okay, which are within the government, and this is what you call control opposition. People like this. He's not just, he's just not being brave and going up there and saying these things. No, all right, they need, all right, control opposition. Okay, so they'll let these devils come, all right, and speak certain truths, so they can have credibility, okay, with the opposing side, okay, and then it's also they're able to, because now if you start following Thomas Massey, okay, that lets them know, okay, that look, hey, you need to be deleted, okay, you're opposed to the agenda, you see, and that's another thing too that they're gathering, with the internet, they're making they're sectioning off, okay, the resistance, based on what you watch, so Palantir comes in it, okay, based on what you watch, what you comment, okay, what you post, so they're collecting this data because you best believe it's going to be targeted, okay, unalivings, during the chaos, okay, so they're using this time as well, okay, during the midst of these talking points to create these control oppositions to speak certain truths, which, like he said, they're manufactured. This is manufactured, man. Okay, the famine, these things are gonna be manufactured, man. They're gonna manufacture. They're gonna manufacture shortages. Okay, which is gonna lead into famines, which is gonna lead to the civil unrest. Okay, lockdowns. So they're manufacturing these things because they got to move quickly, man. Time is short. Okay, so it's now let's go here. Okay, so they put these guys, which Alex Jones has played out, so they got to get a new character, man. So expect to probably hear more from Thomas Massey as some type of hero against the system. Okay, just to gather people, you see, on these certain databases, to be targeted, man. So let's go from there. All right, 'cause now what you have is the supposedly now they're getting ready to offload their ship of those people. Okay, they're getting ready to evacuate their ship. All right, people are being evacuated from the ship with the hunter virus. Okay, I believe they're out there in the Canary Islands, so they're going to evacuate these people from the ship. Okay, so let's play a little bit of this, and then we'll segue into something else. Let's play this.
We are going to start with some breaking news, as we know that right now evacuations are currently happening for some of the passengers who were stuck on a cruise ship that was hit by a deadly outbreak of the Hunt virus. Taking a look here at social media, courtesy of the Associated Press, it says passengers started disembarking from the Hunt Islands hours after arriving there as evacuation plans got underway. We also have live images of that same cruise ship that, again, is still anchored off the coast of Tenerife. And I'm going to leave this on your screen while I also read up some more of this reporting, courtesy of the Associated Press. They say the first plane carrying passengers evacuated from the Hunt, his cruise ship, departed from Tenerife and Spain's Canary Islands on Sunday, so today, for Madrid. Well, they will go to a military hospital. Spanish nationals were the first to leave the MV Hondias, which remains anchored off Tenerife after arriving hours earlier, and they will be under quarantine after they reach Madrid. Spanish health authorities had to say that at a news conference earlier on this morning. Now, only Spanish nationals will quarantine in that country. The cruise operator, which is Ocean-Wide Expeditions, listed 13 Spanish passengers and one Spanish crew member that were still on board. Nobody among the more than 140 people on the Hondias is showing symptoms of the virus, according to Spain's health ministry, also the World Health Organization and the cruise company Ocean-Wide Expeditions. Passengers and some crew members of other nationalities will be evacuated throughout Sunday into Monday. There were people of more than 20 different nationalities on board. Those disembarking and personnel
20 nationalities, 20 different nations, man. Okay. 20 different nations. And then they say that they're saying that incubation of the virus can be 8 weeks. Okay, which is 2 months. Okay. And they keep running it 8 weeks. So there's no telling, with 2 months they can just start determining, okay, outbreaks. Okay. So the virus can lay dormant for 2 months. Okay, and then it can just show itself. Okay, so are they telegraphing? That within, you start seeing within 2 months. They can double back and say, well, dormant. They didn't show symptoms. They quarantined, but even after the quarantine, it showed itself. Okay, so it's a lot of narratives that these devils are setting up to where they can run with. And then this whole 2 month thing, that's when they saying a lot of these oil shortages, okay, are gonna hit. See, right now, the thing is just inflation, but they're saying in months' time it's gonna be actual shortages, okay, dealing with the oils. And so could it all hit at once? The oil shortages plus, a breakout, a pandemic, another pandemic. Okay. So we'll see, man. Just listen to these different narratives and listen to what's being reported because the news, all right, is scripted, So then, this same ship, it'd be the same time of day. They keep showing this same ship. Okay. And saying it's live, So yeah, man, let's go from there because I say now they're dealing with the oil. See, people so caught and see this devil, he just got everybody all over the place, man. You see, because you get tuned into this and then you forget about, oh shit, it's the energy crisis too. Okay, oh, it's a war. Oh, it's you see, it's this, it's that, and it's this whole thing is create confusion and fear. Okay, because if you're confused and you're in fear, you're easily controlled. Okay, you're going to be open up to, all right, solutions. Even if the solution not logical, you're going to be open to irrational solutions. And what's going to be that irrational solution in the midst of all this, man? Okay, because it's going to go from just uh high prices and inflation to rationing, man. Okay, so let's play a little bit of this.
For weeks, investors wanted to believe the Iran crisis was under control. They wanted to believe oil would keep moving, gas prices would come down, and the Strait of Hormuz would reopen before the damage became too serious. But that confidence is now starting to crack. The Dow plunged by more than 550 points after Iran renewed attacks across the Gulf region, and oil prices climbed again as markets reacted to the possibility that this crisis may last longer than expected. And this is the key point. The issue is no longer just fear. It's no longer just headlines. The issue is that the world may now be moving from a price shock into a supply shock. When prices rise, people can complain, cut back, and wait for relief. But when actual shortages begin, the problem becomes much harder to manage. And this is why the story matters so much, because what started as an oil market crisis could now become a much wider supply chain crisis. Take a look at this clip where they explain the immediate market reaction after Iran launched a new wave of attacks across the Gulf region.
It is time now for Money Power Politics. And for the first time in weeks, investors are reining in their optimism over the war in Iran. The Dow plunged more than 550 points and oil prices climbed after Iran launched a new wave of attacks across the Gulf region. As we mentioned, according to the U.S. military, Iran fired on American ships in the Strait of Hormuz, but the missiles and drones were intercepted and no ships were hit. The UAE also said that an Iranian attack caused a fire in the largest oil storage area in the Emirates. Meanwhile, here in the U.S., the last California-bound oil tanker to pass through the Strait of Hormuz has arrived in Long Beach just in time for the average price for a gallon of gas to reach nearly $4.50.
So the last tanker has supposed to reached, all right, California, which has the highest, gas prices, okay, in the country, man. Okay, so now you have that playing out, all right, and then like we know, okay, that this war is just getting started. You see, it's just getting started, so it's gonna continue to escalate, and ain't no going back to the Strait of Hormuz being open, man. Okay, this is permanent. What we see happening, all right, for the sake of prophecy, man, because these devils, all right, they got to run with this narrative, man. Okay, and the Lord, all right, has these nations, okay, in the spirit of war. Okay, so we're gonna see, this war escalate. It's gonna kick back off and go hot. Okay. Matter of fact, brother can post that in Jeremiah 28:8. Okay, and Isaiah 34:16. See, we know, okay, that this war is not over. It's just the beginning of sorrows. Okay, it's not the end. All right, they're not going to go nuclear. You see, next week, no. Okay, but this is going to be the conflict that's going to lead, okay, into the nuclear conflict. Okay, it's going to build up to that. It's going to be a build up. Okay, and it's all on the Lord's timing. Okay, and the Lord is in full control of speeding this thing up, man. Okay, how He wants, having think, because everything is all right in appointed time, as the scriptures say. So every time that there's some type of military action in their region, oil prices go up, okay, which what directly affects the consumer, okay, because all these private companies globally are winning. You these private oil companies. See, people think, you talk about American oil, you know, Russian oil. Those are private companies, man. Okay, hey, you see, all these are private companies. All those GCC nations, those are private companies, man. That's why only these oligarchs benefit from the oil prices going up. The American, it doesn't benefit the American people. Okay, nothing that the American system does, okay, benefits the American people, man. Okay, and remember, the elites are going to continue to get more aggressive with their war against the American people, man. All right, because they need you depopulated and submissive. Okay, and these shortages, it's going to go from, like I say, from price shocks, okay, to shortages, man. So let's play this.
The reason that clip matters is because it shows how quickly the mood changed. Markets had spent weeks acting as though the worst case scenario would be avoided. But once Iran renewed attacks across the Gulf, investors suddenly had to face a more serious possibility. What if the Strait of Hormuz does not reopen quickly? What if this is not a short-term disruption? What if the world is entering a period where key goods don't just become more expensive, they actually become harder to get because supply disappears? And when supply disappears in a global economy, the pain doesn't stay in one place. It spreads through shipping, fuel, food, manufacturing, hospitals, technology. Reuters reported Chevron chairman and CEO Mike Wirth said on Monday that physical shortages in oil supply would begin appearing around the world because of the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, through which 20% of global crude supply passes. Economies will be shrinking, first in Asia, as demand adjusts to reduced supply, with the strait still closed because of the US-Israeli war with Iran. Wirth said during a discussion sponsored by the Mikan Institute, we'll start to see physical shortages, Wirth said, noting that surplus supply in commercial markets, tankers in so-called shadow fleets avoiding sanctions, and national strategic reserves were being absorbed. Demand needs to move to meet supply, he said. Economies are going to have to slow. This is important because it changes the whole story. This isn't just about expensive oil anymore. This is about whether there's enough oil reaching the countries, factories, airlines, refineries, and shipping companies that depend on it. When Mike Wirth says demand needs to move to meet supply, what he's really saying is that the world may have to slow down because the fuel needed to keep the economy moving is becoming harder to access. Asia would feel it first because Asia depends heavily on oil and refined products from the Gulf. Europe could be next, and eventually, even the United States could feel the pressure, even though America is more protected because it produces and exports more of its own crude. This is why the last scheduled Gulf oil shipment arriving in Long Beach matters. It shows that the delayed effect is now reaching American shores. Oil does not teleport from the Gulf to the West Coast, it takes time. So a crisis can look manageable for a few weeks and then suddenly the shortage begins to appear. And this is where the story becomes bigger than petrol prices. A lot of people hear oil crisis and immediately think about filling up their car. But the Strait of Hormuz is not just a fuel route, it's one of the most important trade choke points in the world.
So yeah, there's gonna go a time for it's gonna go beyond prices to where there's gonna be a shortage, and that's when you're gonna see governments, all right, begin to intervene and begin to have to ration, okay, supplies, man, oil, okay, gas, all right, food, okay, because the New World Order is a system of rationing, okay. When you go into the New World Order system, it's a big rationing system. That's why I said you will own nothing. You'll get everything rationed to you, okay, in the New World Order system. Okay, it's a system of complete control where everything is rationed to you to the liking. All right, going back and what to your behavior. Okay, the New World Order is going to be about you continually have to please, okay, the elites with your behavior. Okay, to get blessed from them. Okay, and that's his way of playing the Most High. Okay, your blessings come from me now. How you act towards me, your conduct towards me, towards my system, towards my standard. Okay, that's what determines blessing. Okay, and this is the sick, twisted plan that this nigga think gonna work, man. All right, so let's go from there because I haven't even had a chance to watch this one. I'm gonna cue this one up, then get some of these precepts. All right, but let's watch this one. Okay, let's get I haven't even watched this. It's a quick, so let's see what this one talking about in a minute. All right, but let's get some of these precepts first. This is the brother. Yep, it's the brother of Mark of Ball, Isaiah 34:16. It says, "Seek you out of the book of the Lord and read." And see, we're able to, okay, make sense of the madness through the book of the Lord. Okay, because without this understanding of the scriptures, man, we'll be all over the place, man. Okay, we will be all over the place, man. And that's why the scripture, well, wisdom and knowledge should be the stability of our time. Well, the wisdom and knowledge of what? Of the scriptures, man. That's our anchor in this. Okay, the scriptures keep us anchored. Okay, and it keeps us on track. Okay, with what's really going on. All right, and that's why there's a lot of emphasis on what to prophesy. Okay, to prophesy to my people. You see, because there's a lot going on. There's a lot of things that, for the scriptures filter all this information that's going out. You know, to where we know what to throw out, we know what to pay attention to. Okay, we're learning. You know, the Holy Spirit gives us what discernment. Okay, in these matters, man. Okay, to extrapolate. Okay, spiritual things as all this information is going out. Okay, so the book of the Lord, the Bible, okay, is making sense of the madness, man. Okay, and it says and read, it says, "Seek you out the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth it have commanded, and his spirit it have gathered them," man. Because this book, all right, is gathering the elect. Okay, the elect is being gathered by the spirit of this book, man. Okay, which is Yahweh Shai. You know, the scripture say, "Until Shiloh shall be the gathering of the people." Okay, how we was gathered, you know, from all throughout the earth from the words of the Holy One. Okay, so this word is making sense of the matter. It's gathering the elect, you know, because it's like a banner. Because when you will go to because the Bible is like a banner. Because in war, you know, back in those wars when you had those big open field battles and two armies would, you know, emerge on each other, well, it'd get real confusing of what's what. It'd be a lot of confusion. That's why they had those big banners in war. So you will know, okay, this banner is still standing. You can rally to your banner, you know, and recenter yourself. You know, you can regroup to your banner, you know, in the midst of what they call the fog of war. You see, the confusion of war, because it could be a lot of confusion, you know, when you got these two, you know, warring, okay, people, you see, and once y'all get in the mix, okay, but you can always look up and see that banner, okay, and retreat back to that banner. And that's what the Bible is a banner for the elect to retreat to in the midst of all this confusion that's going on, man. Okay, so this is Jeremiah 28:8. It says, "The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms of war and of evil and of pestilence." Okay, and this is the time we're in: war, evil, and pestilence. Okay, that's been the theme of 2026, man. War, evil, and pestilence, man. All right, and this is what the Lord raised his prophets up to expound on, man. You know, and it's showing that he is. So let's play this.
Chevron's CEO just dropped a bombshell that most people missed. He said that we will see shortages, physical shortages of oil. And he's comparing this to the oil crisis and gas crisis in the 1970s. It's exploded across multiple industries, and there was rationing. Right now, guys, across the nation, the average price of fuel is at $4.50 a gallon. Diesel prices are even higher than that, and grocery store bills are climbing, and empty wallets at the grocery store. Today on UNAS TV, we're going to be connecting on how not only does this hit your tank, but it also hits your dinner table. Mike Wirth, who is the CEO of Chevron, said it straight at the Milken Institute. He said, with the Strait of Hormuz basically being shut down, that's 20% of the world's oil. Commercial stockpiles, shadow tankers, even strategic reserves are being dwindled very quickly. What that means, guys, is that there is no easy supply left. What he's saying here is demand has to meet supply. In order for demand to meet supply, everything has to slow down. You have to stop driving. Rationing has to take effect. The economy needs to slow down. Everybody needs to earn less. In essence, higher prices. I remember 1970s. I wasn't around then, but some of my old, there was the OPEC embargo of 1973. Don't forget the Iranian Revolution in 1979. Gas and oil prices quadrupled. Gas stations completely ran out of fuel. Lines stretched around the blocks. There was rationing by the license plate and fights at the fuel pumps. But the thing about the 1970s is it did not stop at the gas tank. Those higher fuel prices slammed farms really hard. Diesel for tractors, natural gas for fertilizer. Fertilizer prices exploded up 100 paid for it. You or your parents or your grandparents. Grocery bills inflated, leading to the worst amount of stagflation seen in decades. That pain at the pump became everybody's pain in the kitchen. And guys, history is repeating right now. The Strait of Hormuz is again impacted by Iran conflict. Oil prices have gone up, wavering anywhere between $100 to $110 a barrel. U.S. regular gas, and I know you all feel this, has jumped $1.50 a gallon since the war started. For those with you a normal sized tank, that's about $30 or more per fill up. Some spots in this country are actually seeing over $5 a gallon. Done some videos on that. And this doesn't just affect the fuel in your car. This is what a lot of people miss. It affects diesel for trucks, every single industry. Higher shipping costs for everything on store shelves.
You know, these crises are beginning to compound on one another and amplify one another. Okay, and these things are, I say, being strategically done. They're bringing society to a halt. You know, because this is a big system. It's a global system, and what they're doing, all right, they're intentionally pulling on the reins. Okay, and bringing everything to a halt. Okay, which lines up with prophecy. Let's get what's this? Ecclesiastes 12. Is it Ecclesiastes 12 and 1? Okay, Isaiah, what's that, 19 and 15? Okay. Yeah, man. So the Lord is doing all this, man, because it's gonna cause, all right, prophecy to be fulfilled. Okay. What's that? Zechariah is it 8 and 10? You see? We're gonna let it play some more. But y'all know this. You know, the grind shall cease. You know, there should be no work for head or tail. You know, Isaiah. Yep. Yeah, let's get that Zechariah. All right, 8 and 10. Okay. Let's say Isaiah 19 and 15. I want to say in what I said, Ecclesiastes 12 and 1. Okay. Because this the industry applies this industrial age runs off what, man? Off oil. Okay, so the oil becomes, scarce. Okay, so-called scarce. Okay, the industries are going to stop. Okay, and you think these layoffs because of AI is something major? You wait to where these companies can't function because they don't have the energy. Okay, and you wait till these companies announce, all right, that they have to close the doors because they don't have the energy. Okay, anymore. You see? Let's say, but yeah, brother. Let me see. But yeah, we'll let a little bit more of this play. Yeah, I think the Ecclesiastes 12 and 4. Yeah. Well, you really started, Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verses 3 and 4. That's the main point. Okay, let's let some more of this play.
Irrigation pumps, semis hauling food to your local store. Fertilizer prices, especially nitrogen, have spiked 40 to 50% already. And that's only the beginning, because what we're seeing right now is just how those energy costs are feeding into the production of fertilizer. Farmers are facing massive input bills directly going into their 2026 planting season. Now, undoubtedly, that translates into lower yields later, which means in 2020 forecasting food prices 5 times that. That 2.4 to 3.6% includes a lot of fake stuff most of us don't eat. It's the stuff sitting in warehouses as feed for the masses. Pay attention to the price spike of real food. It's going to be much greater than 2.4 to 3.6%. 100% pure beeswax candles from the Yanasa Trading Co. Bee Yard collection. These beeswax lights stay on. By buying our beeswax candles, you're supporting beekeeping. Chevron's own CEO who has knowledge of the in the 1970s, if not worse. Think about it. Your morning commute.
It's going to be worse. And then that Chevron CEO, he said there will be shortages, man. Okay? Because these are oil companies got their marching order from the elites. Okay? There will be shortages, man. Okay? And what if they shut the pumps off? Then what? Okay, what if they only have the pumps open for certain times of the day? Okay? So the atmosphere, okay, everything is in place for them to create, all right, massive panic and chaos and fear and turmoil. Okay? Everything is set in place, man. You see? So let's play a little more of this, and then we'll get these precepts y'all brothers got. Okay. Yep. Let's play a little more of this.
Your weekend road trip, your weekly drive to the grocery store, it's all connected. This is not just Wall Street gibberish. This is your life. Higher gas and higher groceries means less money for everything else. Those higher food costs, tough choices. You hit the register. Now,
you ain't gonna make it through this one, man. All right. You see, you Americans, that's optimistic. Okay, you think you're just gonna ride the wave, ride it out. Nah, man, this is the end of the road. Okay, for America, man. All right, y'all won't make it out of this one. You see, America had the privilege, of having a petrodollar, that would have them immune, all right, to things that would destroy other countries, man. Okay, that would destroy other economies, man. But nah, man, you Americans ain't gonna make it out this one, man. Okay, this is gonna be your reality soon. This is Brother Yashima Tribe of Judah, Zechariah 8 and 10. For before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beasts, which animals back then, because the modern day animal is these 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 trucks, okay? These big rigs that transport this food, because animals was used, for farming, agriculture, the tractors, because what needs to be put in tractors, the fuel. Okay, so the modern day beast, because these tractors replace what beast on the farm, things that the oxen and the donkeys used to do. Okay, and then the camels, they used to transport, goods. You had these carrier camels, okay, that transported goods from here to there. Well, you had elephants in certain cultures, but now you have these big rigs, okay, with what run off the diesel. You see, so when these things are shut down, it's going to be like the scriptures say, for before these days there was no hire for man, nor any hire for beast, neither was there any peace to him that went out or came in, because of affliction, man. These hard times, suffering, great misery shall come, all right, to this age, man, to this society. Okay, the Lord's going to bring great misery, man, and things are finna completely shut down. See, this is going to be a completely different level of shutdown than 2020. Okay, they finna completely pull the plug on this old system, and right, and try to hurry up and throw a new one up, man. Okay, but they finna pull the plug, man. So they're beginning to script this thing down, all right, and prepare for a transition. It says, "For I will set all men, everyone against his neighbor." So this is the Lord's doing. Okay, Esau is a tool that the Lord is using to manipulate the masses, man. All right, to bring about prophecy, man. Because the Lord wants you people in the worst predicament ever, man. Okay, the Lord is getting ready to judge in the earth, man, and He wants misery. Okay, He wants people to suffer, man. See, most often to break up all this pride that's in the earth, man. Okay, especially here in America. Okay, that's why you go to Isaiah 19. This is brother servant of Yahweh Shah 144. It says, "Neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do." Yeah, these industries from the shut down. Okay, they're going from the industrial age, okay, to the age of technology, man. You see, a transhumanism, the age of AI, automotive. Okay, and so there's finna be a complete stoppage to this whole system. Okay, because he has to bring it to a complete halt to transition, man. Okay, so we're seeing the ripple effects. We're gonna see the ripple effects from these shortages. Okay, that's gonna bring this society to a complete halt. Okay, like I say, the industries are not going to be able to operate because they don't have the energy. And America uses the most energy in the world. Okay, the world uses 100 million barrels of oil a day. America's used 20 million of that 100. 1/5 of the world's energy is consumed in America. Okay, that's why even though America produces all this oil, okay, it produces 13 million barrels a day, which is the most in the world, but they use it all. Okay. Now they have natural gas that they sell on the global market, and they have a little piece of oil that they sell on the global market because they get subsidized oil from Canada. Okay. But America is the most energy intense country, okay, in the world. Okay, and China's a close second, they use like 16.3, close to 17 million barrels of oil a day. Okay, So the number one and number two economy in the world use the most energy. You see? So when these things, all right, when they cut off the energy, we're really gonna it's gonna be the worst year in America, man. The effects gonna hit America like no other, man, because America depends so much, okay, on what? Energy, man. Okay. You see, and they're gonna intentionally, all right, cut the pumps off, cut these things off, man. Okay. So it said this is GMS prayer always hope for elect. Right. Yeah, Ecclesiastes 12:3 says, in the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Okay. And the strong men, men of wealth, men that are rich. Because see, there's a lot of people that's not okay in this inward circle, man. Okay. If you're not of the super rich, if you got a few $1,000,000 and this going on, you're finna be you see, it's gonna be a lot of millionaires, man. Okay, it's gonna go broke overnight. Okay, it's gonna be like the common man. All you celebrities, y'all gonna be like the common man. Okay, you think these YouTubers with these influencers? Hey, everybody's gonna be broken down to nothing, man. And in order to get access back to, all right, any type of resources, okay, because your bag is gonna go digital. Okay, so to get back access to, all right, you try to salvage. That's why I say he that save his life shall lose it, because there's gonna be people that's gonna try to salvage their situation, and you got to go through the sea hill. Okay, so the grinding is getting ready to cease. It's coming to it. It's coming. The Esau, the Lord got Esau putting the brakes on this train, man. Okay, and it says, and those that look out the windows be darkened. Yeah, a grim future. Okay, the future looks very grim. If you have an expectation in this world, well, your future looks very grim. Okay, your options ain't no good options. Okay, if your expectation in this world, well, listen, you don't have no good options on the table, man. Okay, because it's finna get bad, then it's gonna get worse. Then it's gonna get worse some more. Ecclesiastes 12:4 says, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low. Okay. Yeah, shut up, people, because it's gonna be bad. Because when that money stop, man, these businesses go out, man. Hey, it's gonna be a purge type atmosphere, man. Because people are gonna be desperate and entitled. Okay. It says, when the sound of grinding is low, he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low, man. Yeah, man. Okay, you think that the job market is terrible now, man. Just wait, or rather until they really start shutting down, these corporations due to the fact that they don't have the energy, okay, to run. You see, we're gonna see job loss go way beyond, 20,000 here, 30,000 there. It's gonna go into the millions. Okay. And as this system is functioning to some degree, man, you got all these people trying to get these jobs, waking up early. Nah, man, it's over. Okay, a lot of these jobs ain't coming back. Okay, a lot of these, because they plan on running the earth with a much less population, much fewer population, man. So let's get this. The brother put up. This is a good one to end it on. We ended on this one. All right, let's see. I think the brother posted it. Yeah, here we go. So this is Brother Corner Wild, GMS prayer always hopeful. Let Isaiah 42:9, it says, everything I prophesied has come true. And now I will prophesy again. I will tell you the future before it happens, man. And there's the spirit that the Lord put on his men, to speak on the future, okay, to expound on what's going to be in the future according to the will of Yahweh Shema Shah was written in scripture, man. Okay. So yeah, man, these devils, all right, the Lord got their foot stuck on the gas, okay, took the brake pads off the car, all right, cut the brake line, okay, and everything is full steam ahead, man. So Lord will, these devils continue to run with these narratives, may, crisis increase and continue to compound because it's all working in our favor, man. And this is the Lord, all right, ending Esau's rulership, man. Okay. So, Lord will, you brothers, all right, and you few sisters edified once again. I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful that Shalom.